All right, my friends, it's Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock, 1:04 right now, and we do have strong to severe thunderstorms already working their way across the Cumberland Plateau. So just wanted to jump in here to give you a weather update on how this is all going to play out. A lot of folks out at the lakes and the campgrounds. 'Tis the season and this time of the year that, of course, camping and boating season is underway. So a lot of folks are going to be out on Norris Lake and all the campgrounds across parts of the Cumberland Plateau, Big Ridge State Park, the Catoosa Wildlife Area, and we have storms moving in to that area as we speak. So let's get to work with the current watches and warnings. We'll start you off with the warnings right now. Then we'll get to work with the watches coming up in just a moment. But remember, much of East Tennessee is under a tornado watch that runs until 4 o'clock here this afternoon. And this is round number 1, by the way. Round number 2 will come in overnight tonight, and then round number 3 will come through during the day tomorrow. All right, so the storms are right over Big South Fork, Allert, Jamestown right now, so working their way towards Highway 27. So Winfield, Oneida, Huntsville, Elgin, all next in line, and Pioneer underneath a severe thunderstorm warning that runs until 1:30 Eastern Daylight Time. So for 25 more minutes, we've got some powerful winds with this. The National Weather Service on this storm said at 12:57, a severe thunderstorm was located 7 miles south of Great Meadows campsites. Again, just kind of stressing those camping weather again. Not the best of camping weather, I should say. Or 10 miles west of Oneida, moving east at 50 miles per hour. So, again, this is the story that we are going to continue to deal with here for the rest of the day today. Not the rest of the day, but I do think that these are going to last for a little bit longer. And then we're going to continue to see improving conditions until round number 2 comes through overnight tonight. And so we send out a push alert and make sure everyone gets this so they understand what's going on around town. But the winds are going to be strong with this system, and that's why the National Weather Service has issued this. They said hazards of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, nickel-sized hail. I expect the damage to roofs, siding, and trees. That's kind of what weather we're going to be talking about. This is all radar indicated. So Oneida, Huntsville, Helenwood, Winfield, Rugby, Smoky Junction, Honey Creek State Park, Robbins, Big South Fork National Park. Of course, it's over that right now. And the Rugby State Park area. A tornado watch remains in effect until 4 o'clock this afternoon for parts of East Tennessee. So continuous cloud-to-ground lightning is occurring with these storms. Move indoors, of course, immediately if you're in and around these storms or if they're starting to move into your area. So we just want you to stay at. Listen, most of this is going to be Interstate 40 north. So I think if you're joining us from Interstate 40 south, just stay weather alert for the day. But I do think if you're Interstate 40 north, you have the better chance for seeing these showers or these storms moving on into your area. Let's see. No. I thought we got a new update here. We did not. All right. So anyway, Oneida, Winfield, Huntsville, Elgin, all in the path of this. Sunbright, Deer Lodge, Grimsley on the tail end of that. Ombre as well going to be on the tail end of this as it moves its way to the east, southeast. And again, this is a nice little potent wave moving its way through the area, and that's what's. And we've got a very unstable atmosphere. The atmosphere is very primed. We've had tornadoes or possible tornadoes across Middle Tennessee already, as this has already blasted its way through Nashville, and now it's our turn. And as this little ripple in the atmosphere moves its way through this very unstable air, that's what's going to produce the severe weather for the rest of the afternoon. All right, so inside the storm, we do have some pretty strong winds associated with it. We'll just kind of highlight a couple. 50, 60 mile per hour winds can be associated with this. And so there's 55 mile per hour winds just getting ready to work its way over the Big South Fork area. So of Winfield, Oneida, and Huntsville, you'll start to feel these winds. If you're not already starting to feel them, you're going to start to feel them real soon here as this blasts its way to the south and east. It is moving at 50 miles per hour. So 50 miles per hour is how fast this thing is moving. So it's racing right along, and that's not going to take very much time to move into your area. Straighten the map out here, and we'll go ahead and take the leading edge of this and talk about some cities that are going to be in the path of this. It is moving to the east at 50 miles per hour, so I'm going to come all the way out here. And those are the paths. Those are the cities that are going to be in the path of that system. So we're talking again. Oneida 1111. It's currently 1109, so it's going to be in your area. If it's not already there, it's going to be there momentarily. Winfield 1112. Robbins 122. I said 11. I'm sorry. That would be a 112, a 122 in Robbins. Huntsville about 123. So you got about 10 minutes or so before it moves into Huntsville. Elk Valley at 130. Pioneer at 132. Jellicoe, if it holds together, it's going to be in your area at 134. So about another 30 minutes or so. Habersham at 140, La Folle at 151, and Jacksboro 152. And so, again, this is the story. This is really what we're going to be having to deal with for the rest of the day today, at least. Well, not the rest, but I mean, again, this is going to make people go inside for a short time, and then they'll be able to go back outside. But again, we'll talk about round number 2 coming through later on this evening. So let's talk about the storms that are going to be with us for the rest of the day today. Let me take you to a different map here. So there's some cameras around East Tennessee. And we'll highlight those for a second while I just kind of get everything going here again. As a live look there in downtown Gatlinburg, top left-hand side of the screen, folks are going to probably be doing just fine, although there is a tornado watch in that location, so we'll have to watch out for these storms and how they propagate to the east-southeast. And again, this whole little wave of energy is really what's going to spark off all of this activity for the early afternoon hours. All right, so back to the maps. There's our tornado watch. It runs until 4 o'clock. It does include Blount County. Now, again, Sevier County not underneath the tornado watch, but Blount County, Knox and Loudoun, Roane over into Anderson, Union, Claiborne County, Campbell, Morgan, Cumberland, Fentress, and Scott County. Those are all the only counties that are currently under a tornado watch. If you were with me earlier this morning, we were like, hey, listen, the atmosphere is super primed for severe weather, and that's exactly where we stand at this hour. All right. So as we look down the road and as we propagate this over time, this is a 30-minute loop, radar loop. And you'll see how these are, basically going to be hugging across the Tennessee-Kentucky border. So the northern plateau, seeing the thick of it or the worst of it right now. Again, that is, if we were to stop this, then the leading edge of that, we'll say if the tail end of this works its way towards Norris Lake, it would be over the northern sections of Norris Lake within the hour. So probably about 2 o'clock or so those are wrong numbers here. Let me change this. They're moving at 50 miles per hour. So there we go. Now let's get a new time. And if this moves its way over Norris Lake, we're talking, within the hour. So 30 to 45 minutes or so, it'll be over Norris Lake. There's 43 minutes to the extreme northern parts of Norris. How about just the extreme western part of Norris, about 40 minutes. So 30 to 40 minutes, folks on the water, right around the main channel. I mean, probably 45 minutes to an hour or so as it works its way through. So if you know folks on the lakes, or if you're now joining us from the lake right now, thanks for joining for this severe weather update. Let's go ahead and see if there's any questions or concerns out there. It is humid outside for sure. And let's see. Anybody have any issues with the app muting? Is there a chance that the tornadoes, let's see, what does that say? The watch will be extended. There is a chance. I mean, if they were to extend it, I would think that they would extend it up towards Claiborne County, Hawkins, Hancock, maybe, we'll go Granger County, Union County. So there's a chance that the Storm Prediction Center will do that. They've not said anything about this so far. We run into a little bit more stable air, upper East Tennessee. And that's about the extent of it so far. So again, I think anybody south of Interstate 40, you're less likely to get this. But there's, folks are out and about. Listen, I just picked up my kids from a friend's house, and it's like, guys, we got to go home. And they're like, how much longer do we have in the swimming pool, Mr. Mike? Well, I got a little bit longer, kids. Anyways. Let's see. Laura says, I noticed that it's very still outside. Does that make sense? It does. The atmosphere is just like, it's really muggy, and we've got a lot of unstable air. Do you think this will stabilize the atmosphere for the storms in Athens overnight? Says Sierra. I don't. I think that these will pass on by over the next, 2 to 3 hours. We'll see improving conditions, and so it's only one. We get these done. We'll probably we could even see some clearing back behind it, maybe. And if we were, it's not like we're going to really destabilize the atmosphere anymore, but just the way the atmosphere is playing out. Now, this may rake over a little bit of the atmosphere across the Northern Valley, but the rest of East Tennessee needs to watch out as this line of severe weather moves its way in overnight tonight. And again, I think anytime after it's about 10 o'clock, a lot of times these do speed up. And so I've been saying about after 10 o'clock, probably closer to midnight, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. If it doesn't speed up. But Oneida, when it just got heavy and it's starting to rain, and that would be the story, because you can see the storm is on top of Oneida right now, where we currently have a severe thunderstorm warning. So it's going to move its way right over Highway 27 from Elgin all the way through Oneida and Winfield. So it's in Oneida right now. So Ketchen, you would be next in line. Jeffers, Cordell, Dean, Smoky Junction, Slick Rock, Coal Hill, all in the path of this. And then further down the road, we'd look at Jellicoe and everybody along Interstate 75. So Jellicoe, Newcomb, Elk Valley, Stanfield, Pioneer, the Caryville community, Jacksboro, La Follette, Fincastle, and Habersham. So you're all in the path of this, and this is all going to be within your area within the next hour. So if you've got some barbecues going on, if you got outdoor events, if you're at the swimming pool, you got a lot of things outside, maybe now's the time way ahead of this system. If you're joining us from Campbell and also Claiborne County, to maybe go out and just start packing up some stuff, okay? So it doesn't get blown around, because we are talking possible damaging winds and the possibility of some large hail with this. Looking inside the storm, we do have the possibility of some hail up to about 1/2 inch diameter, so not necessarily damaging hail. I think this first round is going to be definitely a little bit more conducive for tornadic activity as well as damaging winds. But there's still the possibility of hail up to 1 inch in diameter is still possible with this, but I think the majority of this system is going to be more damaging winds and isolated tornadoes, because we've got a lot of spin in the atmosphere. So, the max hail size is less than 1 inch in diameter, so I'm not necessarily knowing. I think this is going to be more of that wind event, and when you look, when you look at the winds inside this system, it's that leading edge. So the strongest winds have already moved there. So Huntsville and Elgin, you're next in line for seeing some very strong, possible damaging winds of upwards. Look at that. Inside that storm, that's shooting at about 5,000 feet above the surface. And so we're looking at 60, 64 mile per hour winds getting ready to work their way possible anyways into Oneida. And then when you look at the radar aspect of it, that's where the rain is. And so some very strong, gusty winds associated with some torrential downpours. And these downpours, rainfall rates with this system right now are running about 5-6 inches per hour. So those are solid downpours, strong gusty winds. And that's going to be the story. Now, this is a little bit different than what we'll see tonight, and a little bit different from what we'll see tomorrow. Tonight's going to be a squall line, okay? And so that is going to be conducive for more damaging winds, torrential downpours again, but also isolated tornadoes. I'm a little bit more, we're going to watch this one a little bit closely, because we don't have necessarily, let's see if we don't have any, I don't see necessarily any rotation with that. So I think it's just going to be more straight line wind damage on the leading edge of this. So 50, 60 mile per hour winds, there's 67 again. So that's going to be the biggest story. So that's going to work its way over Interstate 75. Let's see if you have any questions. Tellico Plains, likely to be missed here for this afternoon, but not tonight, okay? So, again, the squall line that's going to come through tonight, which we'll highlight here in just a moment. I'll go through the forecast. If you missed the forecast this morning, we'll give you the latest forecast and the latest update. But I think everybody's going to get the storms at one point or another. Now, these storms will just be mostly north of Interstate 40, mostly, but you saw that tornado watch extends all the way down into Blount County. It does include Knox County. About what time will the storm hit Morgan County? Well, I don't necessarily know that this will, we're talking, there's Morgan County, Sunbright. So, okay, now the National Weather Service has issued and extended that severe thunderstorm warning. So you can see how it's just clipping the northern sections of Morgan County. This one now does include Caryville, Norris Lake, Speedwell, Harrogate, Clarefield, La Follette, Pioneer, and Elk Valley. So the National Weather Service on this, says they just issued it, says the National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northwestern Claiborne County and Campbell County, northeastern Scott County, and northwestern Union County until 2:15. So this one now runs until 2:15 here this afternoon. Let's get that up there for you. So that one right there, where they're going to issue these way ahead of the storm, because the storm is moving to the east at 50 miles per hour. At 1:17, a severe thunderstorm was located near Oneida, moving east at 50. Hazardous to this is going to be about penny-sized hail and winds gusting to about 60 miles per hour or greater. Locations in this warning would be La Follette, Jacksboro, Jellicoe, Caryville, Elk Valley, Cumberland Gap, Sharps Chapel, Cove Lake State Park, Ketchen, and Indian Mountain State Park. This also does include Interstate 75 between mile markers 134 and 167. So, again, north of Sunbright. So, Sunbright, I think you're going to be in the clear for this one. You can take a little bit of a breather. You've had a very active season so far. So now we've got that severe thunderstorm warning. So let's go ahead and give you the latest on the forecast and what we can expect for the rest of the day today. There's that tornado watch. This runs until 4 o'clock here. It's currently 1:20. It does include Blount, Loudoun, Knox, Union, Claiborne, Campbell, Anderson, and Roane County, Cumberland, Fentress, Scott, and Morgan County. And let's see if they've done anything with that. No, they've still kept that. So we'll see. And we do have storms a little bit further to our west as well that I'll highlight here in a moment. But I wanted to show you the big picture of the evolution of this storm. And a strong area of low pressure moving its way out of the Great Plains into the upper Midwest. Now, the center of the low is going to be close enough to East Tennessee, and that's why we have a little bit greater of a tornado threat today than what we've had in some past storms. So there's 6 o'clock tonight. That's that batch of rain you can see right there across Knoxville north. You can see where those storms are. So Kentucky is likely to get hit the hardest with this storm system. But again, it's clipping the Tennessee-Kentucky border and likely to stay northeast. So if it holds together, which it likely will, we're talking Tri-Cities also in the path of this system. But overnight tonight, you can see how the squall line is going to come on through, and that's going to produce possible damaging wind, torrential downpours. Localized flooding and flash flooding is going to be a concern as well. And I'll highlight that here in a moment. And then as the cold front actually comes through tomorrow, we have another very unstable atmosphere tomorrow. If we get some sunshine, especially early on, which I think we could, once those morning storms move on out, and that could spark off some afternoon showers and thunderstorms that could become severe as well, as we have another risk for severe storms tomorrow. So when you look at the big risk for severe storms, we've got basically a level 2 and a level 3. They have extended the level 3 risk, okay? So to include now most of East Tennessee. And then as the cold front slides its way to the south and southeast, that will take the severe weather to our southeast. But again, the holiday weekend, a lot of folks are traveling. So if you know anybody traveling, make sure that they stay on top of the weather situation, no matter whether they will be traveling to around the region, because that's really going to be the story. Now, the clouds have increased. We've had that high-level cloud. So those high clouds are associated with the storms that were in Nashville that are now currently over us. And the current temperature now at Look Rock is 82. Dew points are in the 60s and 70s. And that's really insult to injury along with the combination of rainfall. So over the last 24 hours, we haven't seen a ton of rain. Over the last 2 days, we've seen some decent rain. And when you look at our rainfall over the last 7 days, these are the areas that would be a little bit more concerning for the potential for some localized flooding and flash flooding. We're talking Monroe, Blount County, Loudoun, parts of Roane, Fentress, and Scott County for sure, because we've seen upwards of 3 to 5 inches of rainfall over the last 7 days. So the ground's saturated, and that's really been. Let's get past that. Let's talk about the risk levels. So here are those risk levels. So the risk level, the Storm Prediction Center has expanded that level 3 risk. All of East Tennessee, they had that level 3 just for like the Cumberland Northern Plateau, like Fentress County, earlier this morning. They have now extended that further to the southeast. So most of East Tennessee is under a level 3 risk for severe storms now. When you break that down by different categories, severe hail, more likely across the plateau in the Northern Valley along the I-75 corridor up through Jellicoe and into Kentucky. Now, when you're talking severe wind, that's going to be the main thing, and especially with that system that's coming through overnight tonight. That's more of a wind producer, but there's our tornado risk, okay? And so we have basically a level 1, level 2. There are multiple categories, but those are probabilities. So 2 and 5% probabilities, that's pretty high. And we do have a lot of spin in the atmosphere. When you diagnose the atmosphere in general, just the forecast anyways, as I was forecasting this morning, you're looking at the atmosphere going, whew, it is primed for severe weather for sure. So I've got wind and hail on the high category because I do think that we'll have the possibility of some large hail that could be damaging hail as well. Obviously, the wind threat's going to be the greatest. Tornado, I put into medium category because, hey, listen, we're under tornado watch, and it's definitely possible thanks to the spin that we have in the atmosphere. And then the medium category for isolated localized flooding and or flash flooding. So let's go and get our timeline here with our future cast, and we'll pick it up here at noon. That one's not picking it up. Let me get you a different future cast here in just a second. We'll time it all out for you here in just a moment. That is currently what's going on around East Tennessee at this point of the game. And again, it's right along the Tennessee-Kentucky border. That's where we have the majority of it. And now let's go back. Okay, there we go. All right, so let me come back to, there's the That's what's going on right now. Let me get you a different model to look at. No, I can't find it on my computer right now. So we're not gonna. I'll just do this. Just bear with me for 1 second. We'll give you a better idea of how this is going to be playing out with more of a high resolution model that takes into account what's going on out right now, and it updates a little bit more frequently than my in-house model. So there we go. All right. So now we're here at the current. So it's still not doing a great job on what's going on out there right now. All right. So let's come back to this, and I'll give you a future cast of currently what's going on out there right now. We'll do a future scan. Here we go. All right. So there's where the storm is right now. This is going to give us a 1 hour future cast. And so you'll see how these storms are going to propagate off to the east. So again, Claiborne County, you'll probably see the storms here within the hour. They'll move their way through Clearfield and Habersham, and then Harrogate towards Speedwell, and hopefully it will start to lose its intensity as it works its way to the northeast. So that would be the goal, and that would be great if that actually takes place. Now, when I expand the view, we still have more activity to our west, okay? And so when you look at Nashville. So we still have a lot more activity to our west that will continue to propagate eastward here for the rest of the day today. So while we may get a break from some of these storms, and yeah, that's not for everybody, we do have more storms to our west. And if those are continuing to work their way east at 50 miles per hour, if they just, as a crow flies, I mean, you're talking about back into Fentress County. If this line holds together, probably two and a half hours or so. So we may get another round. So this round, you're getting a break right now in Fentress County, but we probably have another 2.5 hours or so before another round starts to work its way back into the area. So currently in our viewing area, 2 severe thunderstorm warnings right now. Again, we do have severe thunderstorm warnings up into Kentucky as well, right along the I-75 corridor. So this is going to work its way over Corbin and Williamsburg, Kentucky, eventually into Barberville, Pineville, Kentucky. So anybody have any travel plans northbound on 75, I'd hold off a little bit and not travel at this hour. Just let this one pass. What about Spring City? Spring City, I think you're fine for this round. But for the second round or overnight tonight, I think everybody's going to see that squall line come on through. What about Lone Mountain on the lake? I'm not quite sure where Lone Mountain is. Where's Lone Mountain? Give me the county it's in. I'll try to help you out with that one. Great question, Elizabeth. She says, being that the overnight storms come through during the night, will there be less energy since there will not be sun? Well, typically, but the kind of thing is with these squall lines, they just hold themselves together. They've got a lot more energy, and so, yeah, we'll lose the daytime heating, but they operate a little bit differently than, say, afternoon thunderstorms or pop-up severe thunderstorms. Paris says it's extremely muggy. It is. You're located in Corrington and Union and Granger County. Well, thank you for telling me. If you have questions and you have want to know about things, make sure you actually tell me what county you are talking about. The storms are moving very quickly, 50 miles per hour. So Bobby Green, after this storm passes, when should we expect the second round? Just thinking about planning my evening. We'll have to watch out for the ones back to our west. So again, I think the tornado watch goes until 4 o'clock. This little batch will come through. Then I think we have about 2.5 hours or so that will get a nice little break. You can get that grilling done, get all your food cooked outside, and then we'll have to take it inside, and everyone's going to have to hunker down. So, Linda, hey, Linda, what about 127 North Crossville and Pleasant Hill towards Airport Crossville? Nothing right now, and so you're going to be doing fine. Currently, you're doing fine. But again, we'll have to watch out for these storms that are to our west, that are now just, 40 miles or so to downtown Nashville. So, again, if these start to work their way, move their way towards Cumberland County, we'd say, about 2.5 hours. So I think most of the plateau is going to be fine. Who's not going to be fine for the short term is going to be everyone on the Cumberland Plateau, or the Northern Valley. So we're talking right now, it's over Scott County. It's working its way into Campbell County. Claiborne, Union County would be next in line, of course, including Norris Lake. Then Claiborne and Hawkins and Hancock County. Let's go Rutledge as well. We'll go Granger County and possibly Hamlin County. And then if it holds together, which it should weaken, and I think it's going to start to work its way a little bit further to the northeast. So I think they'll kind of come across like this and slowly kind of have a little bit of a northeasterly trajectory as it works its way to our north, because that's just how the atmosphere is all playing out right now. So I do think that we will hopefully see these weaken a little bit. We've seen them weaken a lot, actually, since they were in Nashville. So that's been good news, because they had a lot of tornado warnings over in the southern Kentucky and middle Tennessee earlier before it actually moved its way into our area. Well, let's see. Will this get to Greenback later on this afternoon? No, I think south of Interstate 40, you're probably fine. Now, okay, the second round, well, this is kind of a caveat. I say there's like 3 rounds, because this is kind of round 1 afternoon stuff. So I think Greenback, possibly, if those ones in Nashville are getting ready to push in Nashville, if it kind of squalls out on us, then that is going to be a possibility for probably, let's see, 2, 3... I'd probably say 3 to 5-ish. 3 to 5-ish. The main event comes through after 10 to midnight tonight, and so it's going to be a long overnight for some of us. And I think same thing with Karnes, probably about 2.5 hours or so as that batch moves its way out of Middle Tennessee. This is just the very leading edge of the first batch, but it's running into a very conducive environment. Hey, Jennifer, how are you? Tell the hubby I said hi. We are on Cherokee Lake. Mention us and what we should do. So you're on Cherokee Lake. So I think, I'll be curious to see if this actually clips. It may clip the northern side of Cherokee Lake, Jen. So if the southern edge of this, that's basically just north of Sunbright. Here's Cherokee Lake. I'm not quite sure. So the tail end of Cherokee Lake, you're talking about an hour. Probably within the hour and 20 minutes or so. The middle part of Cherokee Lake, an hour and 22 minutes. And the extreme northern parts of Cherokee Lake, probably an hour and 30, 40 minutes or so. So you'll probably notice you've got the clouds out there, because that shield of clouds have already moved their way into the area. You already had the clouds, but hopefully that answered your question. Let's see. My 46th anniversary is today. Happy anniversary, Bonnie. Not great weather for traveling. No. And campers. This is camping season, so I can't stress enough. Listen, I've already talked to a lot of folks on social media today, and listen, there's a lot of campers. And so, the campgrounds are going to keep us up and keep everything on and running, and so the campers will know what to do, but you don't want to be at campsites during this kind of weather. So I wouldn't, I talked to somebody earlier, said we came down here from Ohio. We're thinking about maybe traveling back. What do you think? And I said no, because if you go back to Ohio, you're actually gonna be traveling into the worst of it. So I would just kind of hang out, and the hotels are much safer areas. And listen, if you're in a campsite, I'd probably go around and find some of those more sturdy structures. So if you're in, in Sevier County and the campgrounds in the national park, and you're watching, nothing going on here so far, and you're fine so far. But think about overnight tonight, or if you're camping across the Big South Fork, or the Catoosa Wildlife Area, any of the campgrounds, or I've had a lot of viewers that were camping over near Oak Ridge at Melton Hill. So we've got a lot of campgrounds around East Tennessee, beautiful campgrounds, no doubt. But you don't want to be in the campgrounds or in a tent or in a camper when this, especially overnight tonight or even this afternoon. Those aren't safe spots. So I would, because we do have that tornado potential, I would just kind of, as you're running around town today, think about, if you're camping, especially if you're camping, think about where you would go. Is there, say, a Walmart nearby? Is there a McDonald's? Is there something that you could go to in the middle? What's going to be open in the middle of the night, right? And so you'll definitely need to stay on top of the weather situation. And hopefully you're in an area where you have cell phones coverage, because, again, we are broadcasting live through your cell phone. So remember, East Tennessee Weather will broadcast right there on the app. And if you don't have the East Tennessee Weather app, now's probably a good time to go to the Google Play Store or the App Store and search East TN Weather, all one word. It's the first one that pops up with the orange TN and white lightning bolt. Have that. Make sure you have your notifications turned on and ready to go, so you get notified in the middle of the night. It will first warn you when there is our storms approaching. Then it will warn you when there's lightning within 15 minutes. You'll get any severe thunderstorm warnings with the app, any severe thunderstorm watches or tornado watches. And so if you have the app, you've probably been inundated with some activity already on the app today. And a lot of you across the Northern Valley, that's really going to be the story. Let's see. You're very welcome, Sue. And again, Harrogate, the storm for you in Harrogate, Sue, is the leading edge of it is, make sure I'm on the right radar here. I'm not. So the leading edge of that storm for you, Sue, is getting ready to work its way right over 75 near Jellicoe. So it's, basically 30 minutes away, Sue. So make sure you stay on top of it. Stay with me. I'll keep you up to date as this continues to slide its way to the east. Will the storms in downtown Knoxville be this afternoon, or will it be more likely overnight tonight? I think we'll have some afternoon storms in Knoxville probably in the next 2-3 hours or so, because this one's not going to necessarily, it doesn't look like it's not developing anything to the south of it right now. But we do have those storms, remember, back in the Middle Tennessee. So those are the ones that we're going to have to watch closely here over the next short while. Let me loop this over the last 30 minutes so you can get an idea of how this is moving its way eastward. And again, inside this, we've got a lot of wind. You can see that wind field right ahead of it. And so that's the concern, is damaging wind gusts. We don't have a lot of hail with this storm so far, and not necessarily severe hail, but right there just north of Elk Valley, there's 68 mile per hour winds, and that's shooting at 3,300 feet above the ground. So those winds are likely making their way, or near those winds anyways, likely making their way to the surface. So that's definitely something that you want to watch, is that leading edge of this wind field right here. The Newcomb, Elk Valley, Terry Creek, Pioneer, all in the thick of it right now. So Royal Blue, La Follette, Duff, Chaska and Holton, Clearfield, Speedwell, Braden, all going to be next in line, and with possible winds coming out of this system and making their way eastward. Good questions, though. Thank you, Jerry. What part of Roane County? Roane County is okay right now. So Roane County, you're fine for now, but we'll have to watch out. We're going to watch those storms coming out of Middle Tennessee, which I'll show you here in just a second. What's up, Thomas? Sevierville could be affected this afternoon. Blount County, just the county south of you, is under a tornado watch until 4 o'clock here today. I'm not too confident. We don't have anything firing south of this right now, so that's good. Because if we did, we have this energy moving through. I think there could be some individual supercells that would fire up, so we don't have that right now. But Blount County, just to your south, Thomas, is under a tornado watch until 4 o'clock. Sevier County is not as of right now. We'll see what the Storm Prediction Center does. You're very welcome, Sharon. Gotta love it, Bobby. It's been a delayed season, hasn't it? Your Cherokee Lake Bean Station. So, oops, that's Norris Lake. Let's go to Cherokee. So, where's Bean Station? Where'd Bean Station go? Why can't I see it? Well, anyways, hopefully I gave you what you needed, Jen. But are you all on the boat right now? Are you on the lake right now, Jennifer? Paul, I don't know the answer to that question, to be honest with you. At some point, yes, they will all hit Greenville. Everybody is going to be under the threat for severe weather here over the next 12 to 18 hours. 12 to 18 hours before that next line comes on through. So everybody, not this first one. This first one's going to be mainly north of Interstate 40 because there's nothing south of it. You can see, if I expand the view, you can see that's the only thing that's going on right now. But you go back into Nashville and see this line back to our west. That's what we have to watch out for over the next 2 to 3 hours. So you can see how this is all progressing. Now, again, Interstate 40 for the afternoon, Interstate 40 north is going to get hit the hardest. For the afternoon, Interstate 40 south, less likely to get the majority of what's going on out there right now. But we'll see what those storms do on the backside of that. You can see how it's already trailing down towards Jackson, Tennessee. And so we'll see. I'll just be watching those storms as they continue to track their way east. But if those hold together, I think they're going to still kind of have a little bit of a northeasterly trajectory as they come on into the area. So we'll be watching that. Cumberland County, so far you've been good, Cumberland County. But I think those afternoon ones will pop as well. And here's the deal. It's only 140, right? Excuse me. And so because of that, and we still have a lot of heating to do, even though we don't have the direct sunlight thanks to these clouds that have moved on in. We still have a lot of heating taking shape, and so where we may get some a break from the storms would be where we're currently getting those storms into Campbell County and Claiborne County, and so that's something that might be good news for Fentress, Campbell, Scott, Claiborne County. As this next batch comes on through. But the rest of East Tennessee, got another about 2 hours of some heating, and that's going to create a little bit of an issue, I think, as they start to work their way on in. When you look at our dew points, let me just show you our dew points here for a second. So our dew points, it is juicy. Look at that. Dew points of 75, 72 Nashville, near East Tennessee, dew points are running about 60s and 70s. And so that's fuel for these storms to really pop off. And temperatures right now, 70s and 80s. So now a little bit more rain cooled right along the Tennessee-Kentucky border where we've had these storms traversing across. But where we have warmer air in place, we're like 84, 83, up near Cherokee Lake, 80s, Kingsport, 80s as well. And so the Southern Valley, so I'd say Interstate 40 South has a greater risk probably as that next round comes through in the next 2 to 3 hours. And so hopefully that answered your question, Tammy. So Von Orr, Monroe County, likely to be watching what's going to be coming our way, what's coming out of Nashville. So these storms out of Nashville are the ones that we'll have to, West Tennessee, moving into Middle Tennessee. We'll have to see how these propagate east for the next 2 or 3 hours, but I think it's, they're moving at a pretty good clip. And so if they hold together, I think south of Interstate 40 has a good shot for seeing some severe weather before, next 2-3 hours or so. And then, yes, Debbie, overnight tonight, everybody's going to get hit. Now, it is going to be a weakening line coming in through, but those squall lines are known for damaging winds and isolated tornadoes. Not really hail makers per se, but torrential downpours. It definitely has ridden the state line, Jessica. Will a tornado hit La Follette? Well, we don't have any tornado warnings right now, so that's good news. And near to impossible to tell you actually if a tornado would actually hit La Follette. How about Morristown? So Morristown, you'll probably be okay. I don't necessarily know. You're going to be on the tail end of this, but I think it may clip just north of Maynardville as that line is like right here. So anybody north of this blue line has the best chance of seeing these storms hold together and produce possible damaging winds and locally heavy rainfall. So this one's going to miss Lenoir City for now, but over the next 2 or 3 hours, probably not the case. Yeah, Robin. Hey, Robin. So just search East TN weather, East Tennessee weather. If you type in East Tennessee weather, it will be my logo. See that logo on the top left-hand side of the screen? It will be the orange TN with the white lightning bolt and a blue background. And so that's what you'll see on the Roku app. And that's great because you can just put that up in the background. So again, I'm on YouTube, Roku TV, and Amazon Fire. So maybe if you are at campsites right now, you might want to go in or at marinas and say, hey, listen, I know we got a lot of severe weather coming our way. If you have a smart TV, just to have them download the East Tennessee weather app, Roku TV, Amazon Fire, and also YouTube, plus, of course, all social media. And the East Tennessee weather app that you can get online as well at easttnweather.com. easttnweather.com. You can also watch this live broadcast. So all the broadcasts are going to be exactly the same, no matter what platform you're watching on. What time do you think the storms will hit Cott County? I would say the next round probably maybe 3 hours or so, 3 to 4 hours maybe for Cott County. And then again overnight tonight. So from now through, I'd say 6, maybe 7, and then we'll get a break. There you go, right there, East TN weather. Thanks, Katrina. You're very welcome. How was it? How was it going on up there? My dad's not paying attention. My dad's calling me. Do you still have you lost audio still? 1 2 1 2 3. Microphone check 1 2. No, we are not under a tornado warning. There are no tornado warnings right now. So let's see. The National Weather Service has reached out to Scott County Dispatch, and they stated that there have been numerous reports of downed trees and power lines across northern portions of Scott County. Additionally, we have updated the wind speeds and the warnings based on upward trends and base velocity. Tornado possible tag has been included. All right. So Scott County severe thunderstorm warning has now been taken. You are now in the clear. Scott County, no severe thunderstorm warning right now. But we're going to be watching this storm move its way. It's getting ready to work its way over Holton, Habersham, Duff, La Follette, and Jacksboro. And again, we've got a lot of wind moving into that area. Winds could be damaging winds already. And we've already had reports now of downed trees and power lines. And so because of that, let's see if they're showing up in the computer system yet. Now, Fentress County, about 800 people without power right now. Of course, that's going to be updated for Scott County here momentarily. Let's look inside that storm. So we're going to be watching this one closely. Don't see necessarily any spin showing up right now, but it doesn't take much. Really, this one's going to be more damaging winds more than anything. And listen, I say this enough. If you've been with me on the broadcast, don't always concentrate on tornado warnings or tornadoes in general, okay? Yes, is the atmosphere more conducive for tornadoes today? Sure, absolutely. I got a lot of rotation in the atmosphere, but damaging winds will create much more of a greater risk because damaging winds are just a whole swath of nasty winds. No, now Campbell County is under a tornado watch, not a warning. There's a big difference between a watch and a warning. Do you know the difference between a watch and a warning? If not, let's talk about it. Okay. There's your tornado watches and warnings. So watch means it's issued for several hours. It's time to prepare. It's multiple counties, multiple states at times. A warning means you got 20 minutes. They'll last for about 20 minutes to an hour. There are going to be portions of counties because they're going to be polygons, and you only have minutes. Advance notice is only going to be minutes, and so that means you need to take action immediately. So something to kind of think about here as we progress through the rest of the day today. And with that, we've got some strong winds that are still showing up. Thank you, Beth. Yep, trees down, power lines down, and power outages are going to be ongoing in Scott County. Oneida, Huntsville. Debbie, Sweetwater is probably going to be, you could next 2 to 3 hours possible if that line holds together into Middle Tennessee right now. But then overnight tonight, I'd say after 10 to midnight. So it's going to be an overnight squall line that's going to come on through. So for the moment, Aaron, yes, it's all north of Interstate 40. It is indeed, isn't it? Thanks, Larry. No, I don't know why it wasn't showing up on my computer, but South Knoxville's, Interstate 40 north right now. So Knoxville, great, no problems whatsoever. So boating can continue on Lake Loudon right now. County of Mount Carmel. Steve, give me a county. Mount Carmel, blanking on the top of my head what county that's in. 2 points are, man. They're crazy. It's the air that you can wear, huh? There you go, Brian. Hats off to you, my friend. Now go tell everybody about it, Brian. All right, Jana. So, I think Dollywood probably, of course, they will clear everybody out of Dollywood with plenty of time to get to safe places. Again, Sevier County is not under a tornado watch, but Blount County is, and that's just south of Sevier County and Dollywood. So, need to watch it closely for the rest of the day today, but I would say probably 2, 3, 4 hours or so within the next probably 2 to 3 hours, 2 to 4 hours. I think Sevier County will have to watch out. This first batch is solely just traversing right across the Tennessee-Kentucky border. And that's all we have. Now, we do have a tornado warning to our north, so this is why I said don't travel north on 75. Tornado warning to our north right now, and moving its way into Barberville. And so there's that tornado warning. And there's the rotation. So green towards red away. Green towards red and away. And so here is your rotation. Just outside of Corbin, Kentucky. Barberville. So anybody joining us from Kentucky, you do have a tornado warning right now. I got a lot of folks that do join from Kentucky. But a tornado warning for Knox County, Kentucky, Laurel County, Kentucky, Whitley County, Kentucky. So that runs until 2:15 for folks joining us from Kentucky. You need to be heading to your safe shelters right now if you are inside that tornado warning. And again, that's where the East Tennessee Weather app would come in handy because you'd be notified that you are under a tornado warning. That's why it's super important to have your GPS location on and not just your home, right? A lot of us will put in just our home or our zip code, and then that stays there. The East Tennessee Weather app would stay at that zip code. So make sure that you have the app with your GPS location on. Now, you don't have to have it on all the time, but when storms are approaching, maybe just go turn it on for those days. Or if you're traveling, it's always good to have on as well. Hey, Dina, hello from Scott County. It's pouring down and lightning and thunder in here. We just made it on time to get groceries unloaded in the house and into our house, but as soon as we got it all done, we left the door open to our vehicle. Oh, no. You did not. No bueno, Dina. No bueno. What county is that in, Steve? And pretty windy and dark in Middlesboro, Kentucky. Yeah, it's going to be nasty up in Middlesboro, Kentucky. And a new tornado warning now for folks joining us from Bell County, Kentucky, Whitley County, Kentucky. And so that would be those locations. So right along just north of the Tennessee state line, we do have a tornado warning that does include Middlesboro, Kentucky. So who said that? So Joanna, so you are currently under a tornado warning. The storm from Middlesboro, moving at 50 miles per hour, is going to be in Middlesboro, Kentucky within the next 20 minutes. So you have some time right now to get into your safe shelter and your safe spots, but tornado warning continues now for southern southeastern Kentucky. So head to your safe zone if you're Joanna, since she's joining us from Middlesboro, Kentucky. You're so welcome, Laura. Lauren. Big South Forks has already gotten hammered hard, but Big South Forks likely to get another round before the day is over. So we're going to see another round come on through, likely over the next 2 or 3 hours. So Big South Fork right now. Big South Fork's in the clear right now. So there's Big South Fork. Circled it on the screen. So in the clear right now, but likely not to be the case in the next 2 to 3 hours. So next in line, Clearfield, Fincastle. Okay, we got Speedwell, Powell Valley, Norris Lake again. So this is just going to be clipping right over the northern side of Norris Lake. the main channel of Norris Lake may not get hit as hard as like some of the fingers up Norris Lake. So we have severe thunderstorm warning right now for Claiborne County, Union County, Campbell County. Claiborne, Union, and Campbell County. And the wording on that from the National Weather Service at 1:52, it's currently 1:54. So 1:52, a severe thunderstorm is located near Wilkerson or 13 miles northeast of La Follette, moving east at 45 miles per hour. Hazardous is winds up to 70 miles per hour. We've got La Follette, Jellicoe, Cumberland Gap, Clarefield, Fincastle, White Oak, and Sharps Chapel. All in that current severe thunderstorm warning that is on your screen. So again, Big South Fork, Monica is going to be, again, round number 2 comes through probably within the next 2 to 3 hours. So we'll get a break. This will move on through. This will die down. We'll get another break, and then more storms will fire up. The more concerning part of that is going to be, the Northern Valley right around the Tennessee-Kentucky border may be raked over a little bit because of this. We still have a lot of spin in the atmosphere as the low starts to get a little bit closer to our area. But it is, I think, the Southern Valley, if those storms hold together out of Nashville, we may get more storms of fire across the rest of East Tennessee. Right now, this is just along the Tennessee-Kentucky border, and that is literally all we have so far. And heavy rain, outside of Huntsville, but Pioneer, Elk Valley, heavy rain, Caryville, Jacksboro, Smoky Junction, Pee Wee, Cove Creek area. Still going to see some heavy rain, but no severe weather. Just the severe weather right now for Campbell, Claiborne, and Union counties. Probably 2, 3, so 4, 5, maybe 6 for Knoxville area if those ones out of Middle Tennessee hold together. Yeah, I'm sure it's getting nasty in Harrogate. And again, we have tornado warnings in Kentucky associated with this main line that's coming through. So tornado warnings right now for Middlesboro, Kentucky currently, and severe thunderstorm warnings currently just to the south of that in East Tennessee. Wind is getting up, starting to pick up a little bit in Washburn. So Granger County, we'll watch these. They may clip northern parts of Granger County. I think more just so, Norris Lake North into Claiborne County is really what we're concentrating on right now. And again, as I do go on, we'll probably have several rounds of live severe weather coverage with this. We're not going to stay on forever. Once these warnings come to an end, we'll take a break, and then we'll probably be back up with that next round coming out of Middle Tennessee. I bet it is. I bet it is. All right, so we've got a Witcher Weather Watcher. That's yay. We got a. So we have Witcher Weather Watchers. And so we got our first one. Let's go ahead and bring Ross to the conversation. Ross, hold on 1 second, and you can probably hear me in the background. Let's bring Ross to the conversation. He looks like he's going to show us a view outside from, Ross is joining from La Follette. Ross, you're live on with us right now. Tell us about what's going on.
Hey, Mike. Yeah, we've been outside working in the yard due to some downed trees from earlier in the week, and we headed in while this squall's out here, and I was just giving you a look. Heavy rain, wind blowing some, a lot of lightning.
So you said you're in La Follette, right?
Yes.
So you're just on the tail end of that, and you got heavier rain just back off to your west. That's kind of moving over 75 here in just a moment.
Yeah, that'd be back towards the west that way, which is kind of hard to see with the big tree there.
Right.
In the yard.
Yeah, so it's going to be a long night, but you're on the tail end of the severe thunderstorm warning, so you should start to see improving conditions here, if not already, probably the next 5 minutes before heavy rain moves its way back in. That's for anybody joining us from La Follette, where Ross is joining us right now. What's your weather watcher? Hands down. Hey, I'm giving you a big old clap there, Ross. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, buddy. Call back in anytime, my friend, because I hear you calling in, so don't be afraid to call back in.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, buddy. Have a good day.
All right, bye.
There you go, my friends, right there. Right there, front and center. Witcher Weather Watchers at duty, on duty today. That's really cool. We've got about 30 Witcher weather watchers scattered all over East Tennessee. Probably a good time if you've ever been interested in becoming a Skywarn storm spotter with the National Weather Service. If you go take their virtual course and pass it, send me your certificate. You can become part of a Witcher weather watcher. We've got about 30 of them so far. We've got a great group chat going all the time, a lot of weather nuts. And you can join in just like Ross did to give us updates. This is ground truth. This is your boots on the ground for East Tennessee weather, and you're really going to help help us out a lot. And just a quick side note, we just talked about LaFollette, so hopefully you got that blood clot. Again, just a side note, real quick. Did you have any feedback? When Ross was talking just a second ago, did you have any feedback at all? Or could you hear him just fine? Luttrell is... You're making me think a little bit here. Luttrell's in southern Union County, so there's Luttrell. You're going to be fine. You're fine with this first one, Wes. You're fine with the first one, but the second one, you're probably about 2 or 3 hours away from the second one moving its way on in. Thanks, Katrina. I think Granger County is probably going to be fine. You'll see the winds coming out of this storm for sure. It is definitely a quick one, and it is going to move quick. So remember, we have the tornado watch, but we also have a severe thunderstorm watch that's been issued as well. So let's get that on the screen for you, and we'll show you what that severe thunderstorm watch is. So there's this. Okay, so instead of continuing the tornado watch, the Storm Prediction Center has now issued the rest of East Tennessee, the rest of Upper East Tennessee severe thunderstorm watch. This runs until 9 o'clock this evening. So now severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 9 o'clock this evening. That does include Granger, Hawkins, Hancock, Greene County from Pigeon Forge up to the Tri-Cities. Severe thunderstorm watch now in effect until 9 o'clock this evening. And Elizabeth just got the alert for that, so that's awesome. See, that's what I'm talking about. You got that through the East Tennessee Weather app. So again, if you don't have the East Tennessee Weather app, I will throw that in the chat right now. It is attached also to this live, where you can scroll through with the description, but I'll throw it in the chat right now. So I'm going to do that right now. So there it is. I just threw it in the chat. So scroll down to the bottom of the chat, and you'll be able to see that on whatever platform you're on, whether it's on Facebook and or YouTube. You can grab those. Sharps Chapel. Give me the county. Give me your county. If you give me a city, give me a county. I do know where Sharps Chapel is. That's in, I believe, Union County. But it really helps if you just give me the county along with the city that you're in. Sharps Chapel. Somebody help me out. Yeah, you may just be clipped, Amy. It may just hit the northern side of that. No warning right now for where you are. It is just clipping like the Irwin Dykes area on the extreme northern part of Norris Lake. So you can see Norris Lake. I'll circle Norris Lake. It's right there in the center of your screen. There's Norris Lake. And so those storms are going to just clip the northern side, it looks like, of Norris Lake. I believe Sharps Chapel's in Union County, right? I think it's northern Union County. There it is. Wasn't showing up. There's Sharps Chapel. So Sharps Chapel, you are under a warning, so we'll watch that storm. You're on the tail end of that severe thunderstorm warning. So far, so good, though. So far, so good. And we're going to get that so Sharps Chapel stays up a little bit more. All right, there we go. All right, so let's talk about the folks out ahead of this system. Again, severe thunderstorm warning now has been extended further to the east to the National Weather Service. They're going to just continue these warnings because this is holding itself together. But they just issued a new severe thunderstorm warning for Claiborne County, western Hancock County, southeastern Lee County, Virginia. This runs until 2:45 here. So there's that severe thunderstorm warning right now. Runs until 2:45. Severe thunderstorm was located near Pruden or 9 miles southwest of Middlesboro, moving east at 45 miles per hour. Hazards are going to be damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. Expect, so we're talking New Tazewell, Harrogate, Springdale, Howard Quarter, Cumberland Gap, Ewing, Evanston, Arthur, and Powell River Preserve. Remain alert for possible tornado. Tornadoes can develop quickly in these storms. So again, we've got damaging winds more likely so far with these. And the leading edge of this now getting ready to work its way into Speedwell and Powell Valley, Bryson Mountain, Yellow Creek. And that's going to be the leading edge of this. We're right there. So winds with inside that storm currently pushing 50. So we got 40, 50, 60 mile per hour winds. Possible that could be transferred down to the surface. So out ahead of it, let's see, it's moving 45 miles per hour. So there's the leading edge of that, of the big wind anyways, the wind part of it. So here's the timing for some of those cities that could be in the path of the strong winds. Give or take a few minutes, but Powell Valley about 208, so it's moving into your area right now. Cumberland Gap about 216, Harrogate 217, New Tazewell 228, Tazewell 229, and Sneedville about 2:53 p.m. It's currently 2:05. And that's where the strongest winds will be as they move further to the east. So you were getting feedback on that, were you, Tammy? So you couldn't understand what he was saying? Uh-oh. Okay, well, we'll fix that echo. So I'll make sure to message. Okay. We got to work on that. So we'll work on that for the next round. If they have me on the app, so if you're watching and you're with your weather watcher, you have to close Facebook. You have to close the entire broadcast that you're watching. So you have to close Facebook. You'll have to close the East Tennessee Weather app altogether. You cannot have that stuff playing in the background if you call in. That's typically what that feedback is caused from, because you're getting an echo from the broadcast being broadcast on your cell phone as you are broadcasting. So something to keep in mind. Hey guys, let's play nice now, my friends. We'll try to get that fixed. Again, if you call in, if you're an East with your weather watcher, you got to close all of the information on your phone before you call in. So Ross, if you want to call back in and shut everything down, nobody could understand you. Jeremy, I'll post that in the chat right now. So if you're interested in becoming a storm spotter with the National Weather Service, and then in turn becoming a with your weather watcher, I just posted the link. Let's get that in there. Okay, I just posted that link in there. Maybe. Okay, yep, there it is. All right, so if you're interested in becoming a Skywarn storm spotter with the National Weather Service, and then once you pass the course, send me your certificate, mike@easttnweather.com. I'll post that in there as well. And you can become a storm spotter for the National Weather Service, as well as me. Just send me your certificate, and we'll add you to the group of folks who are with your weather watchers. All right, Ross, let's try Ross again. Shall we see if this works a little bit better, my friends? Let's bring Ross to the conversation. Hey. Ross, you're live on again. Let's see if that works a little bit better.
Hey, Mike, can you hear me okay?
We can hear you. Did you shut everything down on your phone?
Yeah, I had everything shut down before. So
you did? Well, let's see what everyone says here. So chime in right now. And Ross, go ahead and talk, and let's see if this works a little bit better this time.
All right. Well, we had another heavy downpour after I hung up from you earlier. But now it's kind of pretty calm. The wind's not even really blowing much, and not raining much. So it looks like we're on the back side of this.
No, you got another one coming out in about 2 more minutes.
Okay.
There's still an echo, but he's understandable. All right, so we're going to have to try to figure out. Let me try something here, Ross. Keep talking for a second. I'm just going to try a couple things on my audio board.
Okay. I mean, there's a gear setting on this thing. I don't know if there's something that I could change on the gear setting that might change the audio. I don't know. I chose the iPhone microphone as the audio when I turned this on. So,
why don't you try a couple of those settings and let's call us back right now. Now's the time to fix it all. So when the next round comes through, we'll be able to fix it.
Yeah. Somebody asked if I have headphones. I don't have any headphones for my iPhone.
Yeah, we were wondering about that when we did this earlier and trying to figure out.
There's the heavy rains back again. Still wind's not really blowing, though.
No, you're on the backside. The strongest winds are moving their way through Speedwell right now. All right, my friend. Okay. So we'll try to get you back here in a little bit and see if we can get that echo fixed. So maybe go play around with the settings on the app on that link and see if Eli says when he's done it, it still doesn't echo when I do headphones. So yeah, we've had a little bit of issue with that. So I'm not quite sure. See if there's a setting on that before when you call back in.
Okay. I'll take a look at it.
All right, cool.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, Ross joining us from Campbell County in the La Follette area. So I apologize if that echo is. We're trying to get that fixed before like major severe weather moves its way in. That would be nice to get that fixed. All right. So Harrogate, Tazewell, Big Barren, big old wind is coming your way. Yeah, I'm trying to. I don't know why it's doing that, Eli. We'll have to get that figured out. But we still have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings right now for East Tennessee. Still have a tornado warning for southeastern Kentucky. So, folks in Middlesboro, Kentucky, you definitely need to be in your safe spot right now. We do have a couple that's showing up. So this is where the possible tornado. So if you're joining us from Middlesboro, Kentucky, Cumberland Gap area, you need to be heading to a safe spot right now. All right, National Weather Service just issued a tornado warning now. Okay, so here we go, folks. So this is what we're talking about. National Weather Service will populate on the screen here in just a moment. Tornado warning now has been issued for central Claiborne County, northwestern Hancock County, and southeastern Lee County, Virginia. So that severe thunderstorm warning now is going to have a tornado warning attached to it. So says this is a danger storm that will be near Harrogate at 2:20. It is now 2:12. So this is the storm they're talking about. Okay, so it's just clipping East Tennessee. So if you're just right along the Tennessee-Kentucky border, this is the storm we're talking about. So they've extended that. So it clips Harrogate right along the Tennessee-Kentucky border. So Red Hill, Harrogate, and Martin Creek in Tennessee. Other than that, it's going to be right over Cumberland Gap. So Cumberland Gap, you need to be into your safe shelter right now. This is right where we're talking about. And this is the rotation that we're looking at. And we don't have any debris showing up right now. And that's right where we need to be taking shelter. So again, Middlesboro, you should be in your safe zone, safe area right now. Again, yes, tornado warning for Claiborne County, but just clipping the Tennessee-Kentucky border. So it does include Harrogate and the Cumberland Gap area. So Middlesboro should be in their safe spot right now. Cumberland Gap, Harrogate. If you're joining us from there, you need to be in your safe shelter immediately. All right, Branson, I'm probably going to need your help, buddy. Probably need to get your help on this one. We'll get the mix minus figured out. Hopefully before round number 2. Tornado warning right now continues for southeastern Kentucky and right along the Tennessee-Kentucky border. That does include Harrogate and the Cumberland Gap. Okay, so that's where we currently have a tornado warning in place right now. We have a lot of spin showing up just to the south of Binghamtown, also moving its way into Cumberland Gap. So Cumberland Gap and Harrogate, you need to be in your safe zones right now, so your safe shelters immediately. That would be interior rooms of your house, basement, of course, outside, definitely out of mobile homes. You definitely don't want to be in mobile homes at this point. Take cover, move to your basement or interior room and the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows, of course. If you're outdoors in a mobile home or vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. That is what we need to be doing right now in Cumberland Gap and Harrogate, where we currently have a tornado warning for these locations. We're talking about this area right here. So right over Middlesboro. If you're joining us from Middlesboro, Kentucky, and you have any updates, please fire away in the chat so we can try to keep everyone up to date. That is what we're going to be watching for the time being. Just have to wait for those radar scans to come on in. And that's going to be the story. So we go back to the radar actual image. And the thing is we're not looking at supercell thunderstorms like classic hook echoes that are really noticeable on radar. You have to dive into the inside of the radar to be able to see what's going on. And when you do that, you see the spin showing up. But this is really going to be the story with the squall line overnight tonight. There'll be rain-wrapped tornadoes if they are developing and forming at all. But we currently have a tornado warning now for Claiborne County. So we're talking Harrogate, right there along the Tennessee-Kentucky border. If you can't see that very well, I'll just highlight it. Here's Tennessee-Kentucky border right there in blue on your screen. So it is clipping just the extreme northern portions of Claiborne County and Hancock County. So Martin Creek, Red Hill, and Harrogate, Cumberland Gap area, all in the path of a possible tornado. I mean, either way, this is producing nasty wind. But when you look at this, all right, we're going to have to watch those storms to our south as well. The in-house computer that I have has really good information. And what you're looking at there through Minton Hill Mill, Arthur, Combs, Duo Clouds, so Tazewell, Claiborne County, stay alert. Stay alert because we have a lot of spin now starting to show up. And we'll start to watch this closely. What I'm going to watch closely is going to be this little area right here. We've got this area up here. So really along this line, we could get a quick little spin up. So that would be east of Powell Valley. That would be between Harrogate and Tazewell. We need to watch that one closely, see what the National Weather Service does with that. Again, if you're living, if you're Sharps Chapel, you may get clipped. Big Barren, Norris Lake. This is just going to hit the northern side of that. You can see it's right over Alder Springs currently and Alder. And so this is just going to clip the northern part of Norris. And no severe thunderstorm warning right now for Norris Lake. But some nasty storms to our north, and we've got 30 lightning strikes, so you definitely don't want to be on the lake right now. But we also have to watch the storms back to our west, and so this is what's going to head our way over the next 2 to 3 hours or so. So these storms are moving about 50 miles per hour, so as a crow flies, it'd be working its way back to the Cumberland Plateau within about 3 hours, I guess. Interstate 75, about 3 to 3.5 hours or so. If it holds it together, downtown Knoxville within the next 3 to 4 hours. So again, from now through, so we'll get a break from these storms across the northern plateau here in just a short while anyways. We'll stick with you until those are done, until we don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings anymore. We'll get about a 2 to 4 hour break. So now that's putting us into dinner time. So that would be time to get out and finish your barbecuing and grilling and hanging out and those outdoor activities. Probably closer to 4 to 6 o'clock here. Let's see. So between 2 and 4 hours. So Cumberland Plateau, probably 2 hours. And then 4 hours for the Central Valley and probably 4 to 6 hours for Upper East Tennessee. So now you're pushing 6 to 8 o'clock here tonight. And so you still have plenty of time to get your outdoor activities done for most of East Tennessee. We're just fine. And then as we go to bed tonight, again, you'll want a way to receive that weather information. And if we get some sunshine, so let's look at that for a second, because if we look at the visible satellite imagery, this will let us know where we do have abundant sunshine. So we had that batch of clouds right along Interstate 40 North that will probably help to limit some of this convection, maybe based due to the stable air that this current convection is going on across the Northern Valley. Definitely may stabilize the atmosphere a little bit, but you can see south of Interstate 40 where we do have a lot more sunshine right here. So that's going to help destabilize the atmosphere. And so as these storms come out of Middle Tennessee, they're going to run into a little bit more of a favorable environment and an environment conducive for damaging wind, large hail, and isolated tornadoes. So that's we don't want the sun to come out at this point of the game. I know we do want the sun to come out, right? When I picked up my kids, I picked them up from a pool, and they were having a party, and they're like, I sure wish there was a little bit more sunshine. But unfortunately, we don't have a ton of sunshine for Interstate 40 North, which is going to be a good thing. Trust me, at this point of the game, you don't want sunshine based on how the atmosphere is all playing out. All right, Laura, let's go ahead and dive into that. We'll go back to the Knoxville radar. And let me clear these up for you. So again, for Harrogate. So Harrogate, Cumberland Gap. We currently have a tornado warning that runs until 2:45. 2:45. So we've got rotation showing on those, a little bit of rotation showing on. But any tornado that forms in any of these storms over the next 24 hours, they're going to be rain wrapped. You'll never see them coming. So we still have quite a bit of spin showing up, a little bit more broad, but some spin showing up just to the north of the Cumberland Gap. So let me say this area, red away, green towards the radars down to Morristown. So this is your rotation. So Harrogate, you're on the very southern end of that, but at this point of the game, I'd say Harrogate, you're probably okay. Let's watch this for maybe give it another 5 minutes or so. I'd say give it another 5 minutes. Another 10 minutes or so. For Harrogate, Cumberland Gap as well. But then, when you look at the winds associated with this, let's get the winds on there. We still have some really strong wind. So when you look at the radar, there's the radar. So we've got some big old rain from, Campbell County moving into or through Claiborne County, so Speedwell, Powell Valley, but that's also where we have a lot of wind. And so the leading edge of this wind now is going to be right here. So Sharps Chapel, Big Barren, Acuff, Tazewell, Bacchus, Little Creek, Ritchie, Riley, all in the path of the possibility of some damaging winds. So National Weather Service continues severe thunderstorm warning for Claiborne, Hancock, and Lee County, Virginia. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 2:45 for northeastern Claiborne County, western Hancock counties at 2:22, so it's 2:23. A severe thunderstorm is located near Harrogate or 7 miles southeast of Middlesboro, Kentucky. Damaging winds are possible with this system. So we're talking about New Tazewell, Harrogate, Springdale, Howard Quarter, Cumberland Gap, Ewing, Evanston, Arthur, Powell River Preserve. A tornado watch remains in effect until 4 o'clock for East Tennessee, and we have a severe thunderstorm watch now in effect for Upper East Tennessee. That runs until 9 o'clock this evening. And so when you look at the winds inside this, we got some nasty winds. So we'll see what the winds do right along the leading edge of that. A little bit less, but Powell Valley probably experiencing, and Speedwell probably experiencing some pretty nasty winds right now. Not all of it necessarily is being transferred to the surface, but that's where we do have the heavy rain, and that's where we're going to have the rain-cooled air that's going to be in place. So you have to see how temperatures dropped back behind it. So Habersham, now we've got temperatures in the 70s. It was in the 80s out ahead of it. Tazewell, we've got temperatures near 80. Rogersville, pushing 81. Sneedville also pushing 80 degrees. Bean Station, about 79. So some rain, cool air back behind it. 73 Oneida. Oneida, current temperature about 71. Huntsville, about 74. So rain, cool there, but down across the Southern Valley, where we haven't had the rain, temperatures are much warmer. Places like McMinn County pushing the mid-80s. Bradley County, 84. Blount County, 84. Gatlinburg, 86. Downtown Knoxville pushing about 82 or so. Jefferson City, 82. So, again, low to mid and even pockets of upper 80s. A lot of unstable air. And, as I mentioned, more sunshine down across the Southern Valley. And so that's going to help to, A, warm you up, and also helps to destabilize the atmosphere. And so what's coming in out of Middle Tennessee is what we need to watch closely. And so Nashville's getting ready to get hit hard again. And just a bunch of severe thunderstorm warnings all through Kentucky. Look at all those warnings up through Kentucky. Now, they're not over Interstate 75 right now, so they're moving into the mountainous region of Kentucky. But Campbell County, also Fenchurch County, Knox, everyone else except Claiborne County right now. Claiborne and Hawkins County need to stay weather alert as we track the rest of this storm moving its way into your area. And so we currently have that severe thunderstorm warning for Claiborne and Hancock County till 2:45. Still have a tornado warning for Claiborne and also Hancock County right along the Tennessee-Kentucky border. That also is until 2:45. So we've been watching that storm coming in out of the Cumberland Gap into Harrogate. But I don't see anything right now. Biggest location of concern would be right in this area, moving its way right over Highway 58. All right, so we're going to get another Witcher Weather Watcher from, so Eli is going to be joining us here. Eli, give me a second here, bud. Let's go ahead and bring Eli. Eli's joining us from Church Hill right now from Upper East Tennessee. Eli, you go ahead and talk, and let's see if we get that echo. Let's see if we can't get rid of the echo, buddy.
Hey, Mike. All right. Yeah. So we're looking right now. We're looking towards Hancock County. You might be able to see a little bit of the storm structure. I'm not sure if you can or not. I don't have you running anywhere. I'm on my AirPods, so there shouldn't be any echo. Hopefully there's not. So, but right now that's what you're looking towards. Right now there was a little bit, you were able to see a structure, but it's gotten a little bit more hazy. We're starting to get an increase in the humidity here. Our dew point here is 71, and it's about 81. So we've got it's moist. Let's just put it that way.
So that's the air that you can wear, Eli.
Yeah.
So
it's humid out here. It's hot. We've had the sun all day. So the atmosphere here is fueled, and it's ready to go. But I'll break in case as these storms get closer here, and I'll update you again. But I'm looking at that line of the velocities there. We're looking a little bit concerning for the potential for a spin up. So I'm just we're going to play it safe here. I'm not going to get out. I'm at the top of the hill that I live on right now, so it's not too bad. But I'll probably stay home for the rest of the evening as these storms move closer. I just want to give you an update from here.
Okay, and apparently we're still getting that echo, so we're going to try to get that fixed in just a short while. Thanks, Eli. I appreciate it, bud.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, so that's Eli joining us from, I circled it right there, Church Hill. And so you can see Church Hill circled, and he said that he had the camera pointed to the west towards Sneedville. And that's where those storms are. I apologize for the echo, my friends. We'll get that fixed eventually. Well, once these warnings pass, they'll give me some time to figure that out. So we don't have to deal with that later on tonight. Because we don't want to be dealing with that all night long. So Campbell County and Scott County, Fenchurch County, you are, and everybody else around East Tennessee except for Claiborne and Hancock County are in the clear so far. Let's see, Nashville. The Nashville office is talking as well. Of course, they do cover the Cumberland Plateau. They said two areas we're watching. The first is a supercell structure over Robertson County. Ping pong size hail being reported out of that. They're talking about not overly concerned with the tornado threat so far with that storm, but I think just that's the whole general idea, is that we need to watch these closely. Coming out of Middle Tennessee into a primed atmosphere, and we'll get several more hours of daytime heating before this energy moves its way into East Tennessee. And that's going to be a little bit of concern as we head through the rest of our evening. But everyone else around East Tennessee is doing just fine. If you're joining us from Campbell County and Norris Lake area, again, most of the storms are to your north of Sharps Chapel, and most of them are north of Norris Lake. So probably going to be doing just fine on Norris Lake for now, although we do have 47 lightning strikes in this vantage point right now. Yeah, and I think, Beth, we're going to see quite a bit of sunshine. Once this little cloud deck associated with these storms, once this starts to continue or continues to work its way eastward, I think we're going to see quite a bit of sunshine, and that's not going to be great news. Yeah, we'll try to figure that out. It's a new system I'm using, Jessica. And it's easy to get everyone in, but we got to figure out that mix minus. All right, National Weather Service. To give everyone an update, since we're pretty quiet, I mean, not totally quiet, but we're pretty quiet right now. Remember, we do have a tornado watch that continues for another hour and a half. Not quite sure. We'll see what the Storm Prediction Center does with that as we get into the afternoon, like 4 to 6 o'clock time frame. But a severe thunderstorm watch is continuing until 9 o'clock this evening for Sevier County, Jefferson, Granger County, all the way into the Tri-Cities area and points further to the east and northeast. Remember, this is the big bullseye of severe weather. This is what we're expecting today into tomorrow, as we'll watch a squall line develop overnight tonight as this next rain and next batch comes on through. So let's pick you up. Here's the current time. So it's 2:30. So we've got those storms, picking up on those storms right there. This model's not necessarily picking up on a whole lot. Let me go ahead into a different model. See if we can't get this updated for you. So, okay, this is the latest HRRR. And so that's kind of picking up on that activity in the Kentucky, right? Not precisely, and it's never going to be precisely because it's a model, but that's going to work its way into Southwest Virginia, Upper East Tennessee. And then see how as we get into the 4, 5 o'clock hour, here comes this next round. So we'll see what that next round does and how it holds together on the southern end of that. And then overnight tonight, as we get past midnight, basically 10 to midnight, this is what we're going to be watching. A squall line come in from the northwest. And that's going to punch its way to the southeast. So there's 3 a.m. If this holds together, give or take an hour or two on either side of it. Typically, we'll take an hour, and usually these arrive a little bit sooner than projected on model forecasts. But you can see this, there's 3 a.m. So it could be anywhere from midnight to 3 a.m. And then as we go into, so everybody's going to get the rain overnight tonight. That's 5 o'clock in the morning. Take you to 7 o'clock. At least morning rush hour will be on the light side. A lot of kids are off on summer break right now, and therefore the morning rush hour goes way down due to the fact that we're on summer break. But we could still have the showers and storms depending on the speed of this through the morning rush hour on Monday. And then those will move on out, and then we could see those pop-up showers and thunderstorms redevelop with the actual cold front coming through Monday afternoon. All right, so the National Weather Service is going to continue the tornado warning right here for Hancock and Claiborne County. They're saying the tornado warning remains in effect until 2:45 for northern Claiborne and northwestern Hancock County. as well as southwestern Lee County. At 2:30, so it's 2:33, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Hutch and near Middlesboro, moving east at 45 miles per hour. This is radar indicated rotation. Flying debris obviously is the most dangerous. The tornadic thunderstorm will remain over mainly rural areas of northern Claiborne, northwestern Hancock, and southwestern Lee County, Virginia, including Ewing. So that's what we need to watch for right there. This little rotation, these little eddies. Like right there, right there. We need to watch some of these. And of course, the National Weather Service is watching them, and they're the ones who issue any of the warnings. We just pass those along to you. But rural part of town, but definitely need to watch that closely. There's the new update. So now we need to watch this little area right here. So that would be north of Red Hill. So Martin Creek, Ewing, into Kentucky. Need to be in your safe spots right now. Let this one pass on by. And we'll begin to see some improvements here over the next short while. Right there along the leading edge. I mean, and this is a sign of how the atmosphere is going to be playing out for the rest of the day today. Again, as we see some sunshine and some more daytime heating, and that next piece of energy comes in out of Middle Tennessee. That's really what's going to kind of pack a punch for sure, or could, anyways. So definitely have a way to receive that weather information for the rest of the evening, and then overnight tonight, as we showed you with our future cast. Definitely, we need to watch that one during the overnight hour. So that's going to keep a lot of us sleepless here tonight. You're welcome, Carol. Winds are getting strong in Tazewell. So they're going to be strong in Tazewell for sure. So you got those strong winds moving into Tazewell right now. Mason Springs, 30, 40, 50 mile per hour winds possible. Not too strong out ahead of it. But that line is getting ready to work its way into Gibson Hill over Mason Springs right now. There's our latest update from the radar, where we continue that tornado warning right now for Hancock and Claiborne County until 2:45. So it's now 2:37. So they're going to continue that. It's these little notches. And this is how overnight will play out as well. So these little notches right here, like just south of Ewing, those little notches right there are what we need to watch closely. And anytime you get a line like that, you got to watch these little notches. Because that's where you'd get those spin-ups. How's it look for Maynardville? Says Trevor. What's up, Trevor? Maynardville should be just fine. Let's see. Yeah, Maynardville's totally fine. In the clear. 100% in the clear. For now. For now, anyways. But likely to get worse again as we get into the 4, 6, 8 o'clock hour tonight. Likely to get worse again. And especially folks that are seeing some sunshine. And as I've shown you here, just for moments anyways, now we do have sunshine south of Knoxville. So we've got more sun down into McMinn, Bradley, Ray Meigs County, Watts Bar Lake, Roane County. Get a little bit more sunshine there, Maryville. And so that's the Southern Valley I'll be watching closely as this next wave comes in out of Middle Tennessee, which, of course, you can see on the radar, Not a ton south of Interstate 40. So most of this has been along and north of Interstate 40, even over into Middle Tennessee and West Tennessee. So you're welcome, Monica. So let's see. Marcy says, what do you expect for Wartburg? I expect severe weather possible for all of East Tennessee. So I wouldn't let your guard down. Just stay weather alert. You'll be able to listen. You're fine for the next 2 to 3 hours. So that storm, okay. If they're moving generally about 50 miles per hour, generally speaking. So say this as a crow flies. We'll just take the storm right there to the southwest of Nashville. As a crow flies, let's get in a little bit closer so I can get some counties here. Get rid of that for a second. There we go. So if we were just to, as a crow flies, the ones just southwest of Nashville, they'd be in Cumberland County in the next 2.5 to 3 hours. So that puts us at 5 to 6 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. So 3 to 5 Central Daylight Time. These ones hold together just north of Nashville. We'd say Fentress County, so Jamestown, about next hour and a half to 2 hours. That would put it in Scott County then, about 2.5 hours. Campbell County, that would be about 2.5 to 3 hours. And back into Claiborne County, about 3 to 3.5 hours. Again, on the southern side of that, if these develop based on the atmosphere that we have south of Interstate 40, I would say that we need to watch, be on the lookout in Ray and Meigs County, so Watts Bar Lake, within the next 3 hours. I would say Blount County, if those hold together, within the next 3.5 to 4 hours, and Sevier County, the next 4.5 hours. So that would put us at, 4.5 hours at 6. We're talking 6, 7 o'clock tonight. If these ones down south of Interstate 40 hold together, or if they just really start forming out ahead of it. Now, that's the other thing, is just because we're talking about this energy doesn't mean that we can't get some storms of fire out ahead of it with that southerly flow. And so we'll have to watch out for the threat of that as we get this strong southwesterly flow. These could spark to with the sunshine that we have in place in this part of Tennessee, it could spark off those rogue storms. So that's what we need to watch out for very, very closely. Deborah says, show me Harlan County, Kentucky. I will definitely do that for you. So Harlan County, Kentucky, in the thick of it right now. You have a severe thunderstorm warning right now in Harlan County, Kentucky, but we also have a tornado warning in Harlan County, Kentucky. So there's Harlan in the top center part of your screen to give you reference of where we're talking about. And we still have that tornado warning for Ewing and southeastern Kentucky. So hopefully that answered your question, Deborah. So Martin Creek and Eds Mill, Wilson Hill. Be on the lookout for that. Do have some broad rotation, not too terribly strong. You're very welcome, Deborah. So I'd imagine these are going to start to weaken a little bit here over the next short while. Go back to the radar. Says, National Weather Service says, we are going to let that tornado warning in Lee County, Virginia expire at 2:45 as the rotation is very weak at this point, which I just showed you. So, again, I think we're going to start to see improving conditions here the next 30, 40 minutes for Claiborne and also Hancock County. Southeastern Kentucky still in the thick of it, along with much. Look at the entire line. This entire line in Kentucky is nasty. Look at that. Look at that. It's a nasty line of severe storms. Not a ton of severe weather right now over in Middle Tennessee. A few severe thunderstorm warnings, but these are the storms that we'll have to watch as they propagate eastward So we'll see improving conditions from what we're currently seeing right now. Then we'll likely be back on with severe weather coverage as we get into the maybe 4, 5, well, probably about 5, 6 o'clock here tonight. So make sure that you have those notifications turned on with the East Tennessee Weather app, and I'll send a push notification once I go live for severe weather again. But we're going to hang on until 2:45 and that tornado warning expires. And the severe thunderstorm warning. Come on, get out of there. There we go. So we still have a severe thunderstorm warning right now for Claiborne County and Hancock County that runs until 2:45. So we'll see if this is going to be allowed to expire, if they're going to continue to expand it. If they kill this warning, we'll let you go for the day. Everybody else in East Tennessee is doing great so far. This is round number one-ish. Number 1-ish. Round number 2 will come through during the overnight hours. And then round number 3 possible tomorrow afternoon, which some of the models were indicating some really unstable air tomorrow afternoon. I don't think it's going to be widespread or necessarily a squall line type thing. Tomorrow afternoon, I think it's going to be some pop-up thunderstorms and maybe a little bit of a line of strong to severe thunderstorms possible out ahead of the cold front as the cold front comes up and scoops up all this moisture. It just kind of depends on what the overnight storms do, how much it rakes out the atmosphere, and calms it down. But if we get some of the daytime heating before the cold front comes through tomorrow afternoon, that cold front will act like a nice little bulldozer and force the air to rise, and that's going to bring us the better another chance possibly, anyways, of another round of severe weather. But I do think that if we were to see it tomorrow develop, likelihood of some even larger hail. That models were indicating that we could see even larger hail tomorrow than what we will experience today. I think today is going to be tornadic and wind damage over anything else, not to mention heavy rain. You got to realize that, like I showed you just a little bit ago, if you were with me, I showed you, the parts of Fentress and Cumberland, and Fentress and Scott County have picked up 3 to 6 inches of rain over the last week. And so now we've got a super saturated ground, and now we're talking about another round coming through this afternoon, another round tonight, and maybe another round tomorrow afternoon. And if that happens, we're talking the potential for some localized flooding or flash flooding. So definitely want to stay weather alert here over the next 24, let's go about 24 hours-ish. Oh, thanks, Laura. I appreciate that. Well, that's what I want to do. I'm here, And again, so many folks don't, I've said it before in the broadcast, but if you're new to the platform or you're just now tuning in, I do have links on the discussion. I put them also in the chat itself, but when you see the link on social media, on Facebook or YouTube, I put the links in there to be able to download the East Tennessee Weather app. So if you don't have the East Tennessee Weather app, it's a great tool. Let me show you something really cool about that tool right now, that we'll concentrate on this storm that we have ongoing right now. But let me show you what's really cool about the interactive radar, because the interactive radar is really, really a cool tool, because it gives you current, past, and future radar all with the push of one button. So when you open up the app, this is what you'll see, right? That's how the app opens up. Where we're broadcasting right now is this top one, 24-hour live weather channel. So if I click that, that is where we are currently broadcasting right now. And so that's where you can watch any weather, 24 hours. That's where the 24-hour weather channel lives. It also lives on YouTube as well. But let's come to the interactive radar, because that I've got Watches Morning shown up there. But what's really cool about it is the future cast of the radar. So if you push play, let's see if it wasn't working this morning. So there's your past 2 hours. It pauses at the current hour. There you go. And it gives you a future cast of 2 hours. So you can how it's going to start to roll its way to the north and northeast into Lee County, Virginia, and weaken as it does so. But let's come back, see if it will work for the storms over in Middle Tennessee. So there are the storms in Middle Tennessee. Let's see, because it wasn't working a little bit ago. There it is. So you can see how those are going to propagate eastward over the next short while. So we'll come in a little bit closer. So you can see Livingston is on the far right-hand side of your screen. So Fentress County would be next. There's your past 2 hours. Here's your current hour. And then this is now 2 hours later. So if I come just to the 2 hour later part, you can see 2 hours. So it's 2:48. So let's just say 3. It's not even back in the area. So 3, that'd be 5. So yeah, probably closer to 6, 7, 8 o'clock here tonight, based on the latest projection with the future cast. But that also gives you your watches and warnings out there, so you can see the severe thunderstorm watches, the tornado watches that are in place that do encompass much of East Tennessee. All those little dots on the screen are different locations that I have actually located in here to show people how to do that. But if you're a little quick tip and trick, click on the orange TN with the white lightning bolt in the top left-hand side of the screen on the app itself, and that will take you always back to the homepage. At which point, and you can add different cities in here. As you can see, I've got Nashville, so look at the radar. So when I slide this, the radar changes. So there's Nashville, 73 right now in Nashville. Come over to Chattanooga, nothing going on in Chattanooga. So you can slide this, and the radar changes with your location. So you can add different cities. You just do that with the top part of your screen right there. Just click the plus button, and you can type in whatever city you want. So you add a location, and we'll just type in a city, and then that will now be on your app, and you can allow it to send you push notifications from those cities. A lot of people have joined me. They've got kids that go to UT, or they have friends and family that live here, and they keep track, or parents in other parts of the country, they keep track of the weather where they live through the East Tennessee weather app, because you can put in any location across the world, or across the country, I should say, and get information on that city, not just temperatures and whatnot, but actually severe weather or inclement weather as well. So really cool app to and it's 100% free. It's a free download, and there's no in-app purchases whatsoever. Don't you hate that? In-app purchases. All right, my friends, looks like the severe weather for East Tennessee has now come to an end. We still have heavy rain and some strong gusty winds that are going to show up over into Hancock and Hawkins County. So heads up, Tri-Cities area, Kingsport. This is all going to be looping its way to the north and northeast. So this will kind of go up this way over the next hour or so. And as it does so, it is weekend. So no severe thunderstorm warnings right now. Everybody else is doing just fine. So I will let you go about your day. But I will likely come back in just a little bit. Give us another few hours. Go get your cooking done. Go get everything ready for the evening. Go charge your cell phones. Make sure all your tablets and cell phones are charged, because you'll definitely want to have that ready to go once we head into the overnight hours. Again, so we still have thunderstorms expected. Now, we're going to get a break for about 2 or 3 hours or so, maybe 4 or 5 hours in some local, depending on where you live in East Tennessee, right? The next 2 hours probably for the Cumberland Plateau, 3 hours or more for the Valley, and then 3+ hours for Upper East Tennessee. And this is going to go through about 7, 8, 9 o'clock here tonight. Then we'll get a break, and then we'll see another line of severe weather coming through probably after 10 to midnight here tonight, as we see a line of severe weather slide its way to the south and southeast. And then that is going to produce damaging winds, large hail, and the possibility of tornadoes as well. And then tomorrow afternoon, as the actual cold front comes through, as long as the atmosphere is not raked over, we will see also a risk for some isolated strong thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. Before I had you go, I got some questions on here. Well, happy birthday, Thomas. My birthday is today. Bad weather? No. Could you do an SPC update, please? Yes. So let me give you all the latest information. So we'll just come back to the very beginning. Let me show you how this is all playing out. All right. So we still have a tornado watch until 4 o'clock for parts of East Tennessee. Although we'll see what the Storm Prediction Center does, because I think it's solely based on what's going on out there right now. It's almost 3 o'clock, so this is likely to be expired and or expanded based on the event that's going to happen later on this evening and then overnight tonight. So we'll see what the Storm Prediction Center does, and I will post that to social media and, of course, talk about it when we broadcast live coming up later on today. Severe thunderstorm watch continues until 9 o'clock for Upper East Tennessee, and it's all associated with the storm that's been blasting its way out of Middle Tennessee. So you can see how all this is going. Now, this is just a model forecast, but you can see how this next squall line, this is what we're going to be watching. So there's our first round. So we'll see a few more storms possible, but this squall line is what we need to watch for overnight tonight. There's midnight, and you can see how it's going to be diving its way to the south and southeast. So that's what we're going to be watching for the overnight hours. And then as we get into the day tomorrow, this cold front slices on through, and we could see more active or more convection firing up ahead of the cold front tomorrow afternoon. Remember, the entire region is under a level 1, 2, and 3 risk for severe storms. The Storm Prediction Center has expanded that even more so for East Tennessee. But I want you to be aware of the county that you live in and how much rain you've seen over the last 7 days. Like I was mentioning moments ago, Fentress County, Scott County, parts of, Monroe, Blount County, even Northern Ray and Meigs County and Roane County, seen anywhere from 2 to 5 plus inches of rain over the last 7 days. So that's really going to be insult to injury when it comes to the heavy rain that we'll see as we get into the evening hours, the heavy rain that we'll see overnight tonight, and the possibility of thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. There is the current risk from the Storm Prediction Center. And so they have now increased the threat for all of East Tennessee. We were under a level 2 risk earlier this morning with barely level 3. A level 3, there's only 5 categories. You can see in the top right-hand side of your screen. We are mostly under an enhanced risk for severe storms, and that's due to that squall line and, again, the possible, the severe weather that we have possible for the rest of the day today. When you break it down into different categories, the Storm Prediction Center does, we've got basically a level 1, level 2 risk for severe hail, so that's getting up there as well. The wind is a level 2, and a level 3 risk when you look at the different categories up at the top right-hand side of the screen. And the tornado risk is a level 1 and a level 2 risk. So the Cumberland Plateau and the Western Valley, the Northern Valley, Southern Valley as well, underneath the greatest risk for tornadic activity and, again, severe weather as well. So I've put damaging winds in the high category along with hail, because tomorrow we could even see some large hail as well. Medium category when it comes to the tornado threat, because the atmosphere is primed for tornadic activity. Does that mean it's going to happen? Absolutely not. But it is primed, so you definitely need to stay weather alert. So I said definitely possible with it based on how the atmosphere is all playing out. Real quick, where the National Weather Service is trying to figure out what's going to go on with the tornado watch with the Storm Prediction Center. So they talked to the National Weather Services do discuss with the Storm Prediction Center based out of Norman, Oklahoma anyways, on like, hey, listen, this is what we're thinking. National Weather Services, they talk. And so then they kind of coordinate on how that tornado watch will be, how the severe thunderstorm watch will be, and how the watches all take place. Now, the Storm Prediction Center issues the watches, the National Weather Service issues the warnings. And so that's our risk. And so, again, we do have that risk for severe weather. So here's our latest future cast. And again, we had that batch up moving its way on out. Here comes round number 2. This model doesn't have a whole lot of activity with round number 2, so we'll see how it all plays out. But if we do see more, we've got more sunshine, and so the atmosphere is definitely going to be primed. And then as we get into, I would say anytime past 10 to midnight tonight, it's going to be an overnight storm. 10 to midnight, here's midnight, there's 1 o'clock in the morning. Now we're talking about a line of severe weather, a squall line that's going to come through overnight tonight. There's 2 a.m., so again, give or take about an hour or two on this. There's 3 a.m., 4 a.m., as it works its way towards the mountains. So I'd say for the mountain counties, probably expect a line to move it. So let's come back. So let's just start this over. So the Northern Plateau, it's going to come from the northwest. So Fentress, Scott, and Cumberland, Morgan, and Claiborne County, you'd likely be the first to see this take shape. Then it would move its way into Union, Anderson, Roane, Ray, Meigs counties. As we get into, we'll just say probably from 1 a.m. till 3 a.m., it will start to work its way into Knox County, probably 2 to 4 a.m.-ish. Again, just to kind of give you like an idea. And then the mountain counties, it'll likely be between probably 4 to 6 a.m., and then just heavy rain. So the main severe weather threat's going to be on the leading edge of this. So you can see even how powerful that looks even with the model data. So I'd say, but probably the most severe weather with this is going to be up until about 4 o'clock in the morning. And then it turns into a heavy rain, not necessarily a lot of severe weather through maybe the morning rush hour. And then we could see some pop-up showers and thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. We do have a level 1 and 2 risk for flooding risk. This is issued by the Weather Prediction Center. And so that's what I was saying, like we've had a lot of rain. So again, download the East Tennessee Weather app. If you don't have it, it's going to be a great tool to get you all your push notifications for the rest of the day today and even overnight tonight, as we will take some breaks. I will tell you there is some relief on the way. So some good news that we're going to see more seasonable weather, drier air, not really the air that you can wear. So we will see a much improvement in the weather department as we head into next week. Andrea, so if you do live in a manufactured home or a If you live in a manufactured home or anything like that, definitely something to think about. I said it earlier, have a way to get to a more sturdy building. Know where you would go. What building is going to be open in the middle of the night near you? I mean, is it going to be a gas station? Is it going to be, a grocery store? Is it going to be a big box store? Is it going to be a restaurant? I would have a quick access way to get to a safe place, because you don't want to be in a manufactured home, mobile home, or you don't want to be camping or anything like that when we're talking about the possibility of tornadoes. So if you know anybody camping or doing anything like that, and they're not paying attention, they're not aware of what's going on, maybe just shoot them a quick text message and say, hey, listen, you need to be paying attention, and or you need to get out and go do something else, because you don't want to be in campers or anything like that during this kind of weather. So Norris Lake, if you want to go out to Norris Lake and you're out on Norris Lake right now, I got a lot of friends out there enjoying the day. It looks like probably some sunshine will be making its way into your area. Let's take a look at that. See if there is any sunshine over into Norris Lake, or at least getting soon. No, not yet. But we do have quite a bit of sunshine showing up in South Knoxville now, down towards Watts Bar Lake. They're getting a lot of sunshine on the lake down there. Chattanooga, Cleveland, Maryville, seeing quite a bit of sunshine as well. So that's going to help destabilize the atmosphere. Again, we're going to be watching what's going on to our west and see how this all plays out to our west. But that's not the main event. The main event comes in again overnight tonight. So I just want you to all to be safe. Have a great night. Let's see. Just able to get on. Do you know when? Stephanie says, do you know when this might hit North Crossville? So again, I'll just give you a couple quick updates on that, and then we'll let you go for the evening. And I got to go update the all the platforms with East Tennessee weather. So Stephanie, it's moving its way right now into the western section, West Nashville right now. So I would say North Cumberland County, probably about 2 hours. So it's 2 o'clock there. So I'll probably look around 3, 4, 5-ish to start to work its way back along the Cumberland Plateau. And these will likely stay. There's not a lot of activity south of this, south of Interstate 40. So does it weaken as it moves into this little bit more of a stable environment, thanks to the showers that we just saw move its way through the northern plateau? So Fentress, Scott, Campbell, Claiborne, and Hancock County, you may not get as much activity because of what we just seen. So let's hope for the best. But again, Cumberland County, and it will start to work its way back towards the Cumberland Plateau in the next 2 hours or so. If the north part of that starts to work its way, I'd say Fentress County. So I'd say the next hour to 2 hours, the Cumberland Plateau, you need to start paying attention and seeing what's going on to our west out of Nashville. You can also track it with the East Tennessee Weather app. Remember, I showed you the current, past, and future radar that it has. So let's see. So make sure you check that out because and realize that you only get 10% you only see 10% of what I post on social media. So I post a lot on social media, especially during severe weather days. And so you need to come back to that. You need to come to my social media pages actually, and not wait for it to see on the feed because you know how Facebook works. There's only about 10% of you that actually see what I'm going to see. All right. Or what I post. Okay, so the Storm Prediction Center, before I let you go, let me see what this information is. Storm Prediction Center is issued a mesoscale discussion. And let's see. I'm just give me a moment. I'm just reading what the Storm Prediction Center is saying. Okay, so I'll just read this to you. It says, while the earlier QLCS, that's what we had come on through, QLCS recently progressed out of the tornado watch area into eastern Kentucky, a second line of thunderstorms continues to move east-southeast over southern Kentucky into northern and middle Tennessee, okay? So that's the one that you see moving its way into southern Kentucky, northern middle Tennessee. They said this line of storms is trailing the previous QLCS atop a cooler and stable air mass. Much of this line may remain on the cool side of the zone with limited severe weather potential. However, the southern flank of the line, this is what I was talking about, the southern flank of the line may interact with this zone, the boundary, and potential ingest surface-based air parcels. What does that mean? Should this occur, damaging gusts will be possible and a tornado cannot be ruled out. Right now, the tornado watch is going to expire at 20Z. So at 4 o'clock, they're still going to allow it to expire. So the tornado watch will be allowed to expire at 4 p.m. They said an extension watch may be needed, and they may extend the watch a little bit further south, depending on how the southern flank of those storms progress. Okay, so we just need to watch that southern end south of Interstate 40, see kind of where it's going to progress, and then we'll have an idea of how this is all going to play out through the evening. But still looking at, like I mentioned, still looking at that squall line overnight tonight. So that's the latest from the Storm Prediction Center. So improving conditions so far. So basically what they're saying is that line to our west over Middle Tennessee may run into that cooler air, okay? So a little bit cooler air in this location that I'm highlighting, as I mentioned. And so it may just produce some heavier rain. It may not hold together. It's moving into a more favorable environment. But their discussion also was saying, hey, we got to watch south, see how this all develops, if it develops at all, over the next short while. So that's what we need to watch closely, and so we'll see how this all plays out. But again, we'll likely be seeing more strong to even severe thunderstorms overnight tonight while we're sleeping. So now's the time to go get some errands done, go kick back, relax, maybe charge up everything you need to do on your cell phones and your tablets, as I was mentioning earlier. And we should be hopefully not back before the day is over, before the night is over, but likely to come back on as this next batch moves out of Middle Tennessee into our area. Bobby Green says after that first round came through Jacksboro, it dropped the temperatures to 69 degrees. And that's that cool, more stable air mass that these storms wouldn't necessarily be able to hold together their structures to be able to do that. So hopefully that's the case as it raked over the atmosphere, cools it down, stabilizes everything. But again, that was north of Interstate 40. And that's why I said the rest of East Tennessee needs to stay on weather alert for the rest of the evening hours, because if that southern flank out of Middle Tennessee comes on through, it'll likely produce the possibility of severe weather. All right, my friends, we're going to wrap you up. I'm going to send you back to the 24-hour weather channel. I do have to update the channel, so if I come on, just know that update is a little bit on the older side. So I will have to shut things down to be able to update the channel and all the East Tennessee weather platforms. Stay weather alert throughout the rest of the day today. Again, have everything charged overnight tonight. We'll be back on to have those push notifications turned on, and download the East Tennessee weather app if you do not have it so far. It is Sunday, Memorial Day weekend, my friends. Go play right now. We got plenty of time. Go hang out, chill out, get those dinners ready to go. All right. Speaking of which, I guess I should go check in on my kids. Have a great day, my friends. I'll see you back here real soon. Hi, everybody. Sure hope you're having a great day. Here we go. We're talking about a powerful storm system to move its way on through, giving us 3 rounds of showers and thunderstorms and the potential for severe weather. First one comes through for the rest of the afternoon into early evening hours. Then the main one's going to come through overnight tonight. I'd say anytime after 10 o'clock tonight, but probably closer to midnight, 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And then the cold front's going to come through as we head through our Monday afternoon. And that's going to help to spark off more showers, more thunderstorms. Some of those could become strong to severe. Large hail would be the main threat, and they should be very scattered in nature. Nothing like what we're going to see overnight tonight, and that goes for this afternoon as well. Big bullseye for severe weather by the Storm Prediction Center. They do have us under a level 2 and a level 3 risk as the cold front slides off to our east and southeast. That's going to take the showers and the severe weather with it. So for the rest of the day today, chance for some strong thunderstorms, mainly north of Interstate 40. A line of thunderstorms and severe weather overnight tonight. A cold front going to pop off some afternoon strong, and then cooler, more seasonable weather settles on in. So here's the risk levels by the Storm Prediction Center, level 2 and a level 3. They've expanded the level 3 to include a little bit more of Cumberland County, Morgan, almost all of Scott County, and half of Campbell County. So don't just concentrate on the level 2 and level 3 risk. We're all under the risk for severe weather as we head through the next 36 hours. So here are your categories. Putting wind damage in the high category. Tornadoes I have in the medium category because it is definitely possible and it's not absent whatsoever. So tornadoes are possible. Large hail up to an inch or greater is possible as well. And localized flooding and or flash flooding is also a possibility thanks to all the rain that we've had recently. So here's your futurecast. Again, anybody going to be out on the lakes, again, as we get into the afternoon and evening hours, doesn't show a whole lot, but we do have a very unstable atmosphere, and I think we're going to tap into a little as a little wave moves its way on through. The main event comes overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, and then showers and thunderstorms will fire back up with the leading edge of the cold front tomorrow afternoon. Then we will begin to see some cooler, drier air settle its way on it. We're talking 1 to 2 inches of rainfall area wide. So we are looking at a lot of rainfall over the next 36 hours as well. We have that flash flood risk. So that has been elevated by the Weather Prediction Center. So we do have that localized flooding or flash flooding possible. So stay on top of the weather situation. Download the East Tennessee Weather app, the interactive radar, all the push notifications that you will get for inclement weather when I'm doing live severe weather coverage or even when storms are approaching your area. It's a great tool. High temperatures. It's going to be a warm and muggy day. We're talking mid to upper 80s, maybe even some pockets of low 90s into Chattanooga. And then any storms that we have fire up, they're going to be few and far between. I think south of Interstate 40 is going to be less likely to see that. North of Interstate 40 more so. But temperatures will stay in the 70s and 80s through the evening hours. We stay in the 80s, but a gradual cooling trend all the way through Tuesday. But Wednesday, Thursday, it's going to be feeling fantastic. And we're going to shut off the rain chances for a while. Whew, thank goodness for that. Look at these temps, though. Not bad. More seasonable weather on the way. Not to mention those morning low temperatures will be down into the 50s. It's going to feel amazing by the end of the week. So again, download the East Tennessee Weather app. It's a great tool to have in your back pocket as inclement weather moves on in. And we are talking about the possibility of 3 rounds. Have a great day. I'll keep you posted.